Welcome to Extra Minutes, the official podcast of West Texas FC. Sponsored by Case Corporate.
Welcome to the newest episode of Extra Minutes, the official West Texas FC podcast. We are here at Tall City, and this is going to be a really special episode because a little later on, we're going to actually get to sit down and chat with a few of the players, a couple of the boys. We got Jake McConnery, and we've got Olivier Correa, the captain. But before we talk to those guys, let's talk about one of the craziest, most fun football games I've ever been witness to and been a part of. I had a ball. And so we're going to talk just a little bit about the game, the kind of experience around the game. It was definitely heightened because we had a little bit of a travel delay. And so unfortunately, we had to push our kickoff to 10:30, so 3 hours, and we'll talk a little bit about kind of what that means. But it's kind of a bummer for our fans. We talked a little bit about just watching how many people were coming up during the happy hour and how many people were coming up to get tickets and were ready for the game. And unfortunately, it's like for all of us, we had to just kind of either go home, chill for a little while, come back, or I'm sure a lot of people weren't able to make it back because 10:30 is a tough kickoff time with kids and different things. But honestly, I was so happy with how many people ended up making the game, and they made a doozy. And I couldn't help, so it ends up 6-3 in our favor. The first half I thought was a really evenly matched game. We just traded goals back and forth. And the second half, we just took it to them. And I can't help but the image that I got was after the game, them headed home back east on I-20 with a nice West Texas FC brand on their backside, because that had to sting. And I can't imagine that it'll be something that'll be fresh in their memory, I think, for a while. But Brandon, they say if you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. Well, that game, we talked a lot and we walked a lot. So how was the game to you, just the whole experience? It was just a unique one, right?
Yeah, never been a part of a game that started on one day and ended on another. Started on Saturday, ended on Sunday, right? A little bit of a crazy game, as you mentioned, but shout out to the guys. I mean, they showed up, and I mean, you have to give an applause to both teams for figuring out how to get a game going still that day rather than having to reschedule.
Which would have been really tough with the available options, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So kudos to both teams. But yeah, that second half is where the travel really caught up to Denton, and just waiting for the extra travel and all that good stuff caught up to them. And West Texas FC took an advantage. And those last 3 goals, where we took the lead and then scored 2 goals in the span of a minute, was really the exclamation point on a weird but chaotic fun night.
Yeah, and Adam, so we just hung around, right? So happy hour turned into happy hours.
Yes.
But how did you feel about the vibe and then the game itself?
Man, so vibe-wise, it was interesting because, I mean, energy has been real high. We've been ready for this game. I mean, everyone had it circled. Mariachi band coming out. And, going out there, the crowd was starting to build. There's a lot of anticipation. People were grabbing Thai food. People were grabbing Tall City Brewery and lubing up for the game. The problem is the game got delayed. And so I got to say, I mean, understandably, plenty of people, we saw some families leaving, and it, broke our heart, and we wanted to just hold on to them, keep them there. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do. It was hot, and it was bright, and it was going to be hours of just standing around waiting.
Right.
And so not everyone could do that, but those that stuck around, it almost seemed to fire them up even further. To where, I mean, when that gate opened, it was fun watching those eager fans come in, families, still families with kids coming in, taking their seats. We had our kids there, and they were pumped, ready to to get into the opposing team's head.
There might have been a few chants from right behind the Denton bench.
Yeah, I threw out to my boys. I was like, "Hey, why don't y'all go like sing the Wheels on the Bus to the team?" And it was kind of one of those half thought out things where I was like, "That'd be funny." And before I knew it, they're like, "We're doing it." And then they went and recruited, one of the loudest and proudest fans, Brian, that we have, and they're like, "Hey, let's go do that." And he, took all these kids with him behind the opposing bench, and they sang the song and got some eye rolls and stuff. And the whole game, it felt like the fans were in it. And even at moments where it felt like they got the equalizer and it felt like the air was kind of taken out a little bit of the stadium, all of a sudden you would hear, fans starting to beat that drum, make, air horns. And at one point, you have their coach taunt one of our fans and say, "I can't hear you."
That put a little fire in it.
Yeah, and they're like, "All right, we'll make sure you hear us now."
I heard a return chant of "Hear us now?" ?
It's so good. That's what we've been trying to build, right? We want a fan base that is passionate, that's ready to party, that's ready to support, that's ready to have fun, and some of the best stadium experiences around the world belong to football clubs that have just ravenous fan bases that will just, they will tear you apart. If they find out any little piece of info about you that they can get in your head, they'll do that. And I love that we had just a piece of that this game, and hopefully that continues. And, right now, our home record, everything, it's starting to look like Midland's a place to be feared, and I freaking love that.
That's right. Well, and you said it right. Like the best football clubs, you want it to be in the back of the opposition's mind. I do not want to go there, right? You want it to be uncomfortable, and I think our atmosphere, the way we played, it was uncomfortable for a lot of different reasons. But you want people when they start heading west to get a little. Just something in the back of their mind, right? Of, oh gosh, here we go. Like, the team's gonna run our feet off. The crowd's gonna, cheer our ears off. Like, that's exactly what we want. And I thought the fire in the game, you kind of mentioned that the intensity of, and I do think it was kind of built over the first 3 hours, because we showed up at 5:30 ready for a game. Right? And the more we talk about it, the more we see the guys warm up. We're there whenever they come back at 8:30. We start getting revved up. It just led for more anticipation, more tension, and then we got to release that. The team got to release it, and it was just, what a magical night. I don't think I'll ever forget that game. It was so fantastic. And, shout out to the fans who were able to come back.
Absolutely.
Huge bummer for the fans that weren't, but all in all, just what a fantastic game. What a great night. So next, we're going to hear from Jake, we're going to hear from Olivier, and talk about kind of this last week of the regular season that we have coming up and what going on might look like. So how about we hear from the guys in blue themselves?
All right, so we are joined here with Olivier Correa, the captain, and Jake McConnery as well, defender for West Texas FC. Guys, a big 6-3 win over the Denton Diablos.
Yes, sir.
Take me through the game, the emotions, getting the news about the travel delay, and what that did for you guys as players.
Obviously going into a big game like that, you want to have your normal routine leading up to the game, knowing that you're going to warm up at a certain time, go out at a certain time. And hearing that news that their bus broke down was obviously, surprising, to say the least. I wouldn't say tragic. We obviously all wanted to play the game as soon as possible, just because you're kind of in the mood for it. But we all just took the news, accepted it, and just regrouped and refocused when the time came. And 10-15 kickoff, and I don't think I've ever kicked off a game that late, but it worked out in the end, I would say.
Absolutely.
So what do you have to do mentally to kind of stay in the mindset? Because you get that adrenaline going, game's getting close, you're in the stadium, and then that news gets dropped. Like, how do you stay in that mindset when, I know a lot of you players, left and came back. Some kind of stuck around. I saw, playing football or whatever. How do you kind of keep that mental edge to be ready to compete?
I mean, at the end of the day, you want to play, you want to play good. So it's not that hard to just refocus and lock in on the game and just shift your attention to only that. I don't know.
No, I think the guys have been doing it their whole lives, so it's just another game. I mean, a couple hours delay. I mean, the guys just refocus, and clearly it worked out, man. So.
And obviously that's a big win and a big 3 points in the standings. Now you look at this last week of the season, you're playing 3 games in the span of a week. You have Fort Worth on Wednesday, and then on Saturday, the big El Dustico against Lubbock. How do you guys prepare for those 3 games in a week and, keeping fresh and keeping the legs kind of moving and obviously just not staying tired and keep going?
Yeah.
I think the guys, I mean, a lot of the guys that played high minutes, they were doing active recovery today. Guys are resting. I mean, it's a short turnaround. I mean, 2 days in between games, it's a lot. But, yeah, I think the guys are ready. Guys have rested. Guys who haven't played a lot of minutes have been training hard, and they're ready for when their opportunity comes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point in the season, when you start playing a lot of games and not a lot of days, I mean, it's really about staying healthy, staying fit. And that's where, like you said, the players that maybe haven't had that many opportunities yet come in play because legs are going to get tired. It's 2 really quick games. So, yeah, it's important that we need everyone fit and ready to play.
Definitely.
Yeah, so one of the things that was interesting with this game was, because of the delay, it really put a lot of tension on us wondering what is the crowd turnout going to be like, right? And so far we have a really great home presence where, slowly the crowd's growing and getting more excited. We got the smoke bombs, the noise and all that stuff. What does a crowd mean to you guys on your home turf? Does it actually make a difference where you're playing? And what does that look like?
No, it absolutely makes a difference. I mean, playing at home is, for anyone playing at home, is just a different experience than playing away. Obviously, we want our home to be some place where teams come and they just don't have a great time at all. They don't want to play there, And having that crowd pushing, we had some really funny chants too during the game. It really helps. You want to do good for the people that stay, especially for a game like that where people had to stay longer and kids staying out way past their bedtimes. I mean, we wanted to do good for all these people. We're grateful for everyone who comes to the home games. Absolutely, it makes a huge difference.
Has there ever been a time when you're playing, because it shouldn't happen at home, but when you're playing an away game and there is, a chant or someone's, calling you out or something, has there ever been a time where something has actually caught your attention where it's like, okay, that's pretty funny or tough to ignore?
In college once. Like there's a bunch of college students in the crowd and everything like that. They found my mom's Instagram before. So they knew my mom's name and everything. Like it was in Detroit. So stuff like that, you hear that, and then you're like, okay. And then you start to listen a bit, but no, other than stuff like that, not really. No.
Yeah, there's a lot more stuff like that in college because students look at the rosters, your names, everything, all your information is just on the internet. So they just look at that and try and get into your heads.
Yeah.
But yeah, we try and keep it out as much as possible,
Yeah.
And now taking a look at the Lone Star Conference, if you look between 1st and 4th place, it's a 1-point difference, 17, 17, 16, 16. And even Lubbock, now in 5th place, is just 3 points behind West Texas FC and Laredo. What has it been like playing in this Lone Star Conference against these high-level teams and pairing up against guys who are, some of them D1, some of them D2, some of them junior college?
I mean, for the conference, I mean, it's been really competitive, especially playing on the road has been tough. Some of the trips have been difficult for us. We maybe didn't perform at the level we should have performed, but looking back and seeing what's ahead of us, we still have such a great opportunity to still maybe win this conference. As for playing with players of different levels, I mean, just playing, I don't think there's any big difference. Anyone can play. it's a great experience to meet people from different places, different countries, and it's great.
I think that, like, especially with the Lone Star Conference, if you compare it to any other conferences in the NPSL, just the fan bases and the care. The Lone Star Conference is like above all the others. Like just the professionalism, the fans that come out to the games, the level, everything like that. It's another level. It's like, it's very good. It's been really good so far.
So, what has, as Brandon mentioned, we got 3 games in a week, 1 taken care of. You got 2 more this week to close out the season at home. What has Coach's message been to you guys for kind of this week leading up to 2 last home games?
I mean, every game's a cup final basically. That's the message they're trying to give us. I mean, they're absolutely right. Every game matters. We have to win both games. We want to finish on top. We don't want to go away for playoffs. So every game is extremely important. Looking, for example, at our next game, Fort Worth, we beat them pretty easily away. And the message for this game is obviously not to take that game for granted. We have to earn the 3 points on Wednesday. So that's also the main message right now, just not to underestimate Fort Worth and just do what we know we can do and get those 3 points, 1 game at a time.
I think that, like, especially in this conference, like, you look at Fort Worth, they're last place, but the quality's still there. It doesn't matter if we're first place or second place, wherever we are right now, and they're last place, every game's going to be a battle. So they're going to come, they're going to try to get 3 points from us. They don't want to see us win, so every game's a big game right now.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I'm not on camera, but I think this might be good.
It's going to pick it up.
I'm curious, just kind of you guys, like, being, like, footballers, like, what clicked in your head that said, that sport? And just who are some of your, like, teams, heroes, like the guys you watched when you were kids, the guys you watch now? I'm just curious from a football fan, like, who are your teams, who are your guys, and how'd you kind of get into that? And tell them.
I mean, so growing up, my favorite player was always Lionel Messi. I really liked watching Barcelona play, just for him. But my team has always been PSG, Paris. So that's where my mom's from, my mom's family's from, so I've always been a PSG fan. But Messi has always been my idol, though, soccer-wise.
Plays like him, too. It's crazy.
So when he was at PSG, that was just like...
when he came to PSG, it was huge. I bought the jersey immediately. I was so happy. He didn't do too good, but
No, for me, I think my favorite team's always been Manchester United. I mean, I've always had, like, jerseys. I had this little plaque in my room ever since I was, like, 3 years old. My family's all from England, too, so all that. My favorite player, when I was younger, was always Sergio Ramos. Now he's getting older now. As a defender, he's been brilliant. On the ball, off the ball, he's incredible. I'd have to say now my favorite player is probably John Stones. The way he's, like, modernized the center back position, everything like that, he's unreal. So playing for England, too, it's great to see him play. So.
Any conflict since he's at Man City?
No, not like that. I mean, when they win every year, it's a little painful, but no, it hasn't been bad. No, I just love watching him play. He's great.
What are your favorite teams?
Oh man, growing up, being Italian. I mean, my dad always his brothers were Inter Milan. My dad straight away from that, he supports the Viola, Fiorentina.
Oh, yeah. You know Tajon Buchanan?
Yeah. So my dad grew me up as a Fiorentina fan, and obviously he's from Bari, so he has Bari as well in Serie B right now. And then in terms of the U.S., I recently got back into U.S. soccer when St. Louis City kind of created a team. So
my girlfriend's from there.
Yeah, it's been very fun to watch and see them make that run as well. So those are teams I support. And Chelsea in the Premier League.
Chelsea in the Premier League. Nice.
What were you?
For me, man, there just never was anyone, like, I played all growing up, and so for me, the only team I really identified with was U.S. team, which didn't get to watch that often, unfortunately. And so fast forward to now, I mean, you guys are my team now, really.
Obviously.
And then, for me, it's all, can I identify with a team and start to grow with a team? And so thankfully, because of the TV show, I've kind of become a Wrexham fan lately.
Up the town.
Yeah.
Up the town.
It's cool being able to, for me, I want to know a player, I want to know the background, and I want to, really kind of get a sense for the place. And being here in Midland, Texas, I never really had anyone that I could reach out to and go, man, that's my team.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's been cool to kind of follow along with them. But yeah, my boy, he's a big Messi fan now, so there's a bunch of Messi jerseys in my house, and so a lot of there's been quite a few Miami games come on the TV and stuff too. But yeah, I've just always kind of just watched for fun, and just now starting to try and like go, okay, I need to like pick some clubs to just like fully back, and so yeah.
Oh, Liverpool. 100%, yeah.
Okay.
For the past probably 20 years, just
Yeah.
I don't know how ended up getting connected, but just kind of became obsessed. So, and my favorite players, anyone in a red shirt. But like, I love the team. I love everything they do. I love the coaching. I just love that team a lot. So
New coach now, though.
Oh yeah, excited to see it. My wife is heartbroken. Like, she's been Jurgen's like #1 fan because she kind of became a fan right as he started.
Yeah.
And so it was sad to see him go. But the team is still intact. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and I'm excited. We could probably use a little change. So too many injuries.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's been tough.
Yeah, one other thing I wanted to ask you guys, and it's been fascinating. We've kind of talked in several episodes about team chemistry, right? Is the majority of the team didn't know a single other player on the team until they showed up. Some, a week before the season, some during the season, and we've kind of been able to see y'all's development on, almost being able to now understand how each other play, where someone's going to be. And so we're starting to see some even more quicker touch passes that are just right in the sweet zone, for, some great finishes at the goal, or just, even in defense, understanding where everyone's going to be able to kind of put the ball in the right spot and everything. How hard is it to build this kind of chemistry with a team that you don't get to spend a lot of time with? And how is that? How do you feel that chemistry is now at this kind of time in the season?
Yeah, I think it's been really good. I mean, spending all the time off the field with the guys living with each other. This young boy now, so it's just like, you become so close. And then on the field, though, everyone's playing the same system of play. The coaches have done a very good job of that, like of instilling a system of play to us, how we're gonna play, how we're gonna build over the back, how we're gonna like patterns up front, everything like that. So that has been very good, and everyone's been really focused on following that and everything like that. So that part's been it's been easier than a lot of different places I've been where it's been a little harder to build that chemistry, but here it's really clicked really quickly. So
And I want to add too, the level of players we have here, it's pretty easy on the field to play together because everyone's at a top level. So the coaches really have done a great job with that, and the system, it just works well. After 2 months almost now playing together, training every day, playing games, I think every game is we're better. Every game we connect better. So yeah, it's just hasn't been that hard, to be honest.
Yeah, that's awesome. You got any other questions?
Just how have you guys found being out here? Have you been out here before? Or it's kind of a unique place. Have you eaten some good food? Just how has your time in Midland been to these guys?
I think it's both our first times in Texas, and it's for sure been unique. I was pretty excited actually to come to Texas. It's something new. And in Midland, it's I've never been to a place like this either. We're just in the middle of the desert. It's just, there's not much around. Everything's really far. But I don't think we've done that much in Midland, to be honest. We just we just stay together as a team and just have our days at the apartment complex. We have the pool. And it's just we try and spend the time there.
Yeah,
together.
We're both from Canada, so this weather's a little different.
The weather
the weather's a lot hotter and everything like that. But I've been other areas like Dallas, San Antonio, stuff like that. But West Texas is different. It's not the same as those places.
No.
But I've enjoyed it. The food too, you talked about. Dickie's barbecue, not bad. There's an ice cream place around from our apartment. That's pretty good. The food's been good. People have been really nice, actually. The community's really awesome here. So No, I've enjoyed my time here so far.
Yeah, the people have been super nice. Yeah, that's for sure. Everyone's just been so welcoming.
Yeah.
It's great.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, we're glad to have you guys on the team.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. Like we were talking last episode, I don't know. All of the conversations run together. Maybe it was at the game. I don't know, but I think it was Luke who said, like, man, I'm gonna like really miss this team. Like obviously season's not over. We got a lot more still to accomplish, right? But it's like, man, it feels like a family out there. Even my boy pointed out as we were watching, because I was out of town for not this past game, but the game before that, and we were watching online, and he goes, man, like they have so much fun together. When someone scores, it's not like a just solo look at me moment. Yeah. It's like a big family hug. And I was like, you're right. And it's been cool. So we're just glad to have you guys be a part of our community for a bit, from Canada all the way down to West Texas, and to rep the blue and gold here and really just kind of turn this community around to understand the importance of the sport. Because I think it's something that we've, in the community, oftentimes look at as like a kid sport, unfortunately, and now it's starting to change where the community is like, okay, there's something to root for around here, and we can have some high level, football/soccer, here in town, and it's man, I think, at least from my personal experience, it's really built up the excitement around. Yeah. I've talked to a lot of people that are really excited. My kids are finally like really into the sport when they're kind of on the fence a little bit beforehand. I mean, even my two youngest in this past game, my wife was real tired, not feeling too well, and so when it hit midnight or whatever at halftime, she was like, hey, do you guys want to go? She knew the oldest two wouldn't, but the youngest two boys were like, no, we're staying, like we're in it. Yeah. And I mean, at their age, it was like, it's like I'm kind of surprised, but it's y'all have just been able to bring a fun passion to the area that we can kind of get behind and hopefully continue to build, and hopefully this isn't the last time we see you guys on the team. Yeah.
I mean, that's us. Thank you so much. Like we try and make our games enjoyable for everyone. We want everyone to have fun watching us play, and I'm happy to hear that. Yeah. That's what we're giving people.
No, the guys have put in the work this summer, so to get this in return from you guys, it's make it all worth it, So
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys just as much as you guys appreciate us.
Of course.
So,
Cool. Any message to the fans for this next week and for the games coming up?
Oh yeah, be there. Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Big game, Fort Worth, and obviously Saturday, July 6th. El Dustico, 7:30 p.m. Be there in numbers. Big game.
Sound Broadband Stadium. Be there. That's the spot.
Vandermolen trying to start the counterattack. He's watched by Turley. Plays one to the left side for Stevenson. On the right foot, looks for some options. Through a ball to McCormick. McCormick, the right foot. He's in alone. And the goal! Nadeau into the midfield. Sees a man. Good curling ball. Apia on the ball. Antoine Marquez, right foot. He's going to strike it. He gets it in for a goal! Good takeaway by West Texas. Marquez, left side. Stevenson in. And it's a goal! Ethan Stevenson! West Texas FC 3, Denton 2. Miralrio sees him and plays the ball through. He's in alone against Sekanina to the right foot. Gets around him and a header save off the line. Saving the tie right there. Believe that was George Windsor. Into the middle. Right foot, deflects, and it's in for a goal! West Texas FC, 76th minute, retake the lead! Nadeau to the far wing, he will, cutting into the box, Rocha alone! There's Marquez making a run into the box, looking for the hat trick. Marquez, right foot to the middle! 6-3, West Texas FC.